Are you feeling stuck? You know that place where you feel like there is something else you want to be doing, but you don't know what it is. It like stirs up inside of you. Feeling stuck is uncomfortable. Feeling stuck holds you bound to where you are. Your inner self, that part of you that is not your body or your mind, it's what I call the spirit, it feels stuck. That's where we're going today. I've got a few great suggestions for you to help you to get unstuck. Now, imagine a truck stuck in the mud. When it's really stuck, the mud is halfway or more up the tires. They just spin and spin when they are that stuck. Spinning the wheels, putting the gas on as hard as you can, just gets you more stuck. Can you picture that in your mind? Has that ever happened to you? Does that picture match the way you feel inside when you're feeling stuck? Does it sound like no matter what I do, it doesn't help me to make any progress? And it won't happen as long as you keep spinning in those thoughts. Let's try changing what's going on behind the spinning. Let's try a new thought. What gets that stuck truck moving? Now, it could be adding weight to the back, getting the traction it needs. It could also be attaching it to a stationary point, somewhere that is already strong and very steady. Compare yourself to that truck. How could you get unstuck? Could it be a new intention? Could it be finding a purpose? Could it actually be a new challenge in your life? Could it be being responsible for the energy that you bring into any situation? Using your personal agency to make a different choice? Recognize that you don't have to be stuck. You can actually do something about it. Try asking yourself, how do I want to feel? Did you know that you get to decide? Sometimes the answer may be that you want to stay right where you are. Okay, at least you're being honest about it. But you don't feel stuck if you're happy with where you are. That's just true. But maybe you don't want to stay where you are. You can choose what's next. How do you figure out where you want to go if you don't know the answer and you have too many choices? May I suggest that you could begin by recognizing that your life is a system. It is created of a series of action, which could also mean inaction. Action, inaction both count as action. And that creates the outcome. Now, you may not like the system you have created, but noticing what system you have created is a very interesting place to start. Now, draw it out if it helps. Write down what you do every day. That is your input, your action or inaction, and what that creates, which is your output or your result. Interesting, isn't it? An action creates a result, and that's the system you've created, which is what makes up your life. When you feel stuck, take a closer look at the system you have created. When you have the same mindset, the same thoughts, the same behaviors and actions, that's why you're creating the same results. This is not actually rocket science, but we don't recognize what's going on. Our thoughts create our feelings. Our feelings fuel the way we act, and the results stay the same if we do those same things over and over again. You begin to feel stuck if what you're creating isn't working for you anymore. Now, it may have worked for you in the past, but if you feel stuck, it isn't working for you now. That's okay. We've all been there. Let's just be honest and really look at the system you've created and decide if you want to do anything different in any part of that system. There is so much power just by recognizing you created the system. And if you created it, you can uncreate it. Right? What if you don't like what you've created? Then something has to change in the system of your life. You get to look at each part of that system and decide where you'd like to change it. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same things, doing more and more of the same things, and expecting a different outcome. That's the end of the quote. Nothing changes when nothing changes. It's obvious when you decide to look at it this way. Here's the thing. No one can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to change the input to change the output of your system. And that's actually really good news. You don't have to stay stuck. You're never really stuck. Changing the system of your life starts with recognizing that you want to change. And all change begins with changing one thing. When you try to jump from input to output in one grand step, it just doesn't work. Think back to that truck stuck in the mud analogy. Putting the gas pedal all the way to the floor in one big push only gets you stuck deeper and deeper, and then you begin to feel like it's useless to keep trying. But that's not the way. Let's take a look at a basic model of change that actually works. It starts with your intention, what your purpose is, or who do you want to become? You will probably answer that with, I don't know. I know that because I said it to myself, and it's what I hear from almost every one of my clients that I work with. Sometimes it takes a bit of digging. Sometimes it takes a lot of digging. Be prepared for it to take some time. Or maybe it doesn't have to. Maybe you're feeling so stuck because you know what you want, but you don't know how to get there or how to even get started. Let's start with that scenario. I'll come back to the I don't know what I want scenario in a little bit. Let's fill in the chart of what you want to become. I've got an empty chart to help you with this. I made this up for you. I got it from my teacher, Dr. Matt Townsend, and I made it for my own purposes to use with this. And you can get it at hunkydory.com/become. It will help you to work your way through this. If you want to stop, pause, and go print that out so you can use it, or come back and listen to this again when you have that basic change model in front of you, see if it helps. I know that it will actually, to see it written out on paper. All right. If we start with what you want to become or who you want to become, we can figure out the rest of the chart. Who you want to become or what you want to become is at the top. Once you've filled in the becoming block with what you want, a goal, a dream, what you'd like to have in your life, let's move around to the right and fill in the thinking block. This is where your thoughts live. It's where you can take a look at what you are thinking and believing about what you want to become and decide if that's what you want to keep anymore. What are some of your beliefs? What are some of your thoughts? Where are you putting judgments on yourself or others? What do you assume and what are you expecting? Put some of those thoughts in the thinking block. There are some other thoughts I'd like you to fill in here too. Ask yourself, if I was to become what I want to become, what would I be thinking? What thoughts would a person like that be thinking? What would I be saying to myself if I had become that person? It's an interesting way to think about it, isn't it? From that place of thinking the things that you've chosen to think, or at least paying attention to what you are thinking, let's move down to the feeling block. It's down at the bottom of the chart. Look at your first group of thoughts you wrote down. How do those thoughts make you feel? Now look at the second group, the one where you were imagining that you were already the person you wanted to become. If you were thinking those thoughts, how would those thoughts make you feel? If you need a little help putting a word to your feelings, I've got you on this one too. I have a list of emotions that you can download so you can find the emotion word that closely describes how you are feeling. You can get that list of emotion words at hunkydory.com/emotions. Can you see where this is going? If a person who thinks this feels this, our last block to go to is our action block, what we actually do. If what we think creates what we feel, how does that fuel you to do something? This is the system you recreate by choosing how you want to think, which creates the feelings that fuel you to do something. Different thoughts create new feelings, which create new action. Now, it works in the negative too, but since we want to get unstuck, we're going to focus on the positive things we can choose to think and feel. This is how you create a new system in your life. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. We have to uncreate a pattern that we may have been living for a long time. We can get really stuck in a pattern that we've done for as long as we remember. So self-compassion is a really great skill to start using here. I have an entire series about self-compassion in episodes 96 through 99, and then in episode 101 as well. If you'd like some help becoming more compassionate with yourself as you're trying to make these changes, go back to episodes 96 through 99, and then episode 101 has some specific exercises that you can use to practice. Now, I have a little secret to tell you about another way you can use this chart too. You can start with what you want to think. You can skip that becoming part and just start with choosing a thought. See what that helps you to feel and what that fuels you to do. What if you can't come up with something you want to think? Then think about, how would you like to feel? What would a person who feels like you want to feel think? Now see what you'd like to do. So pick the different parts if you're having a hard time. Don't get stuck in the chart. Pick a place in the chart that you can relate to and start there. It's really quite magic. I have lots of other ways you can use this chart too. Not only will it help you to get unstuck, it will help you to deal with lots of the things you deal with in your life that make you to feel like you have lost all control. I'd love to help you to get unstuck or help you with whatever is feeling hard in your life right now. This cycle of change can help you as you are working your way through depression. I have helped many women work their way through depression using this change cycle, and I can help you too. Let's get started working together. Don't put it off any longer if it's something that you've felt like it's something you need to do. It's time that you make the changes in your life that you're only hoping for right now. Schedule a 15-minute free session with me, and we can get started making that happen. All right, I haven't forgotten those of you who may be struggling and don't know what they want to become. You are not alone, my friend. This is where I started too. Because I know how it feels to be unable to answer the question, what do you want? I want to give you my secret. Okay, when I say it, you'll know it's not that secret. But it's my secret weapon to figuring things out. I'm here to tell you that there is someone who knows what you want. This person hears your real thoughts and knows how you are feeling, even if you think you've kept them hidden really well. You can't hide from her. This person is you, and you can access her and all of the knowledge and wisdom that she's acquired from all of your past experiences through journaling. I'm not talking about keeping a journal. Well, that's a great thing to do too. I'm talking about writing down your free flow of thoughts and ideas that come from your subconscious. It's getting all of the thoughts from your mind out of the way and onto a piece of paper so that you can access what you really believe. A lot of our thoughts get in the way of what we really believe. When you get good at journaling, you can access that part of yourself that will teach you what's next for you. She'll show up on your page as a trusted friend and an advisor that will show you exactly what the next thing that you want to do is, because she knows you better than anyone else. I've had access to my inner self in so many different ways that's why I just have to share it with people. I know that it works. Now, if journaling is new to you, I know that it can be hard to get started. So I've written a list of journaling prompts that can help you to just get it going. You can download that PDF and print it out if you'd like, so you can put it in your journal. And if things aren't coming up to you, you can refer to it and it can help you to start writing something else. It will walk you through a bunch of prompts that you can help get started the practice of journaling. Most people I work with are very hesitant to start journaling. They have all kinds of excuses like, I'm not a good writer, I don't like writing, my penmanship isn't good, I don't want to, my thoughts are too jarbled up, and I don't see how this could help. But when they give it an actual chance, I haven't had one person tell me that it isn't worthwhile. In fact, they start to crave it, just like I do. They start to see how it gives them more peace in their life because their thoughts aren't running the show anymore. So if you want that PDF to help you get started with journaling, it's called The Quick Start to Journaling Guide, and download it at hunkydory.com/quick start. All of these links that I've given you in the episode, I've put in the show notes so you can find those easier. All right, now starting a journaling practice was definitely the most powerful and life-changing thing that I have done in this whole process of working through my depression. When I feel stuck, I work it out in my journal. It doesn't always come the first time I sit down and write about it, but it does come. What I trust with all of my heart is that it will eventually come. When I show up daily with my paper and pen, I know that my truest self will show me what's next. That's because as I write, I'm examining my thoughts. I'm allowing myself to feel my feelings, and I get it all out of my head, of my body, and onto the paper. Then those thoughts and feelings show me what I want to do and who I want to become. I get them all out of my head, and that's what allows my spirit to show up for me and remind me who I've always been. And I want that for you too. The next time you feel stuck, instead of letting it pull you down into a cycle that you don't want to be in, try viewing it as an opportunity to become something new. That feels pretty exciting to me, which, by the way, is a feeling that fuels me to do something different. You just got to love that change cycle. Give it a try and let me know what it does for you. Send me a message at marla@hunkydory.com or come schedule a session with me on Zoom so I can see your cute face. Thanks for joining me here today. And remember, please always remember, I see you. I understand how hard you're trying, and I want to help however I can. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here again next week.